Hello, allies. Welcome to part two of my coronavirus update. If you noticed in the first episode, we touched base on a lot of the stuff that is hitting close to home, a lot of evidence that may or may not have been told to you. But today, during part two, I want to touch base with somebody else. Not just the elderly, but I want to touch base on the youth. The youth is suffering from this too. Now, to help me out with this, I'm going to ask my friend Bob to come back to the show here to give me a little insight on the youth of America. Come on. And if you notice, he's got the most comfortable seat in the house.
Yeah, that's because I'm old. Yeah.
Benefits of being elderly. Benefits of being elderly. Now, I gotta ask you right offhand. Are you concerned about getting the coronavirus? Are you scared?
Yes, both, yes.
Why?
Because first, how widely it's spreading. Second, because, because I don't think I'm ready.
Well, I don't think anybody's ready to get this thing.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready to deal with the stress, knowing I might have an uncurable disease.
Well,
or virus, or epidemic.
Do you have an input on this one, or?
Yeah, President Donald Trump says if you take two drugs at one time, it's a possibility it might work. But another doctor, I'm not sure. I'm not saying that Trump's not a doctor, or is he? I don't know.
He's not a doctor. He's supposed to be the president.
There we go.
Okay, there you go.
He's the president, not a doctor. There's nowhere in his name that says Dr. Trump. It's Mr. Trump or whatever, president.
Okay, so we got a doctor that says if you put those two drugs together that he's recommending, it could kill you. So who do we listen to? The President of the United States or a licensed medical doctor?
Well, I mean, you look at it this way too, because there's going to be a lot of people watching this show that's going to ask this very question. Now, I'm going to direct this question to both of them. Now, you just stated that there was a doctor that suggested that we don't follow Trump's advice, and those two medications could kill us. Now, I'm not going to cause any panic, but could this be evidence that our own president is trying to kill us? I mean, if he was a doctor, he should have known about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, with the PhDs in the world, you can't really buy a PhD, right?
Something going in the dark market.
But I mean, even if you're a rich guy, you can't buy a PhD. You can earn it, right?
I don't know. He must have
5 years in college.
because he's always right. He even stated that on the news brief. He says, I'm right a lot of times. But not once have you ever heard him say, well, I have been wrong sometimes.
Right.
One of the best things a man can do is admit his mistakes.
Exactly.
Yes, I understand that. Now, Bobby, I gotta ask your opinion here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's look back at some of the presidents that we had. Okay, so for the sake of argument, Donald Trump likes to pick on Barack Obama a lot.
Obama was a good president.
Yeah. So in this moment in time, we are going to do a segment called Trump versus Obama. Okay, and I'm going to pull off some things in here, and I'm going to end up asking you both, to kind of weigh in the options here, what each president would do. Let's start with the New York City lockdown. Now, do you think that Trump did a good job, or do you think Obama would have did a better job?
Depending how, okay, considering how Donald Trump, he did a good job because at least he's trying to make sure the COVID-19 or coronavirus is not trying to spread and become an actual, like a pandemic, like a Black Death and stuff like that.
Well, it's kind of late on that. It's already a pandemic.
Oh, okay, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's trying not to keep it spreading. I think that's one score for Donald Trump.
Well, what about you? Who do you think would have had the better approach here, Obama or Trump?
I believe Obama would have taken it a little bit more seriously at first. I mean, Trump did refer to this as being a hoax in a way. You know, he was shrugging it off as it was nothing really important. We all seen that.
Right.
And there's no excuses for that. I mean, he should have had the tests that we need in advance.
Right.
I mean, Australia did. But plenty of other countries, they had the ability to test a lot more people than what we've tested already.
Right.
I think it's going to get worse. And I think it's due to a failure of the president.
Right. Now, with the advice that Donald Trump is giving for the medical side of things and his reactions on Twitter and everything, now, do you think that Trump is approaching this right? Or do you think Obama would have had a different reaction?
Obama would have had a different reaction, totally.
Why?
Because, like he said, Obama would take it more seriously. Because I feel like, in my heart, if Obama, like the first couple cases, like he might try to say, hey, make sure you wash your hands or anything, just in case if it did try to spread to the United States. So Obama might be like first 3 cases, he's probably going to go up and say, no, make sure y'all wash your hands because this could be a potential threat and stuff like that. And then, but Donald Trump literally waited until it actually went to the United States, and then kept on waiting until it actually started to get more severe. Then that's when he started making comments saying, hey, make sure you wear a mask. Try not to get in too much comment with people that you don't know, stuff like that. Be safe and everything. But I think truly Obama would like do a lot more early reaction to it.
Okay. Do you think that Obama would have took to Twitter on this, or do you think he would? Or...
Well, I gotta honestly say, I don't think, if Obama did go onto Twitter, I don't think he would pre-jump the gun and say, here, take this and this and this, and it's gonna make you better, without making sure that the doctor agrees with that. Because here is another doctor, and I told you earlier about one doctor, okay? Here, read this.
Okay, I'm reading this, y'all. It says, please don't take, I'm gonna call it hydro. Please don't take hydro and azithromycin for coronavirus unless your doctor prescribes it. Both drugs affect the QT interval of your heart and can lead to arrhythmias and sudden death, especially if you take other meds or have a heart condition.
Okay, so now this was replying to Donald Trump's tweet that said, if you take these 2 medicines, it will work.
But the doctor said it will not work.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And even his chief medical advisor is saying,
No.
I have no idea what he's referring to.
Yeah.
True. We're going to take a 30-second break here. We'll be back after these short pauses.